behind it is. It's a regular traditional cache. I would say we've got about 15 minutes to get to wherever. I'm serious. Before, like the other day.
Yeah, we lived on the far side of town.
We live on the south side. The cache was on like Ambler, North 10th Street.
Sears Park.
Sears Park. Anyway, one of the parks there on the north side. We got the email. We got in our car, got over there, found the cache, and when we were finding the cache, people were walking up from the north side. They were only like 5 or 6 blocks away, and we beat 3 different couples from it. How we did it, I don't know. But we got the email, and we jumped in the car, and we were there.
You can't sit around and wait.
You cannot sit around and wait. You can't.
But it gets a
If you want that first
cache. If you want that first cache, and the first to find, and you work at it. Now, in the Metroplex, we've taken some from the Metroplex, like when we were in Dallas, Fort Worth, or San Antonio, but they better be within about 5 miles of you, or you ain't gonna make it. You just won't, because you have
so many other people.
Yes.
What did you say the numbers were to begin with? Like 2 million or something?
2.6.
No, number of cache.
In active caches in the world.
How many do y'all have?
Right at 100. Because we like, when we first got into it, we like doing series. We have a fishing series. We have the Rogers series, which is named after, based on our last name, like R is for railroad, O is for oil, S is for silo. We have one that's a 5 terrain. It's on the silos in Fort Phantom. And you still have to find.
It was at 4.5, now it went back up to 5.
Because the lake finally came up, so you have to come to the boat now. Because if not, you walked in about 2 miles.
Now you have to take a boat there.
Now you have to take a boat.
It's only out there in the middle of the lake?
It's in the silos.
Wow.
It's on one of the silos.
It's wired up there.
It's wired up there.
I put it up kind of high because
Spoilers.
But we have, and then we have our Evil City Park series. We'll take you to every, it's called Evil City Park series, the ECPS is what it is. And we have them in just about every city park in Albany. In every single one of them, and once you find all of those, then it helps you with the final to find the final that we have in another park. So,
and it has a question on the page and it tells you.
You need to know this answer. So
this
you
question.
can actually go to the thing, can't find the geocache, be able to answer that question, and you can still go find that final without ever finding that cache. Because if it needs to be replaced,
You have to go to every one of those caches.
but you have to go to every single one of them. There's like 15 of them. So,
Do you have to get permission from anybody when you're in these public spots to do them? Or do you just don't even?
state parks you do. And, you cannot put them in national parks. That is not allowed.
They let them do earth caches there.
Here at the historic, we had to ask any big park, I would say any state park or not city park, I would say you need to ask permission. If you put it on somebody's land, you must ask permission. That is one of the questions.
Your own property, you can.
Now, if it's on your own property, no big deal. Now, you'll find a lot of them on the side of the road. Also, caches that are not on people's property.
On the right of way.
That are on the right of way. Technically, that is allowed, but some property owners have problems and they will trash them and throw them away.
You have to come across it and not know what it is.
And there's cemeteries, historical markers, you find them.
In
Roadside
cemeteries,
parks.
they suggest that we ask them,
Yeah, they.
unless if you have it like on the outside of the border or something where you're not having to go into it.
No cemeteries for her either.
Well, and see, we like the cemetery ones, truthfully, because you don't have to worry about what we call muggles. People that aren't geocachers, we call them muggles. That's, I know.
Because we can act like we're.
Yeah, we can act like we're doing, like one of the other apps that we have is Find a Grave. Oh, I'm just helping find a grave, I'm helping somebody else out. And that's our excuse. We've got the excuse and nobody knows the difference. So.
It's when you start looking out of place.
Yes, it's when you start looking out of place. Because then you're going to be asking questions, they're going to be asking questions, or something gets reported. Remember that one behind? We have another story. We were behind this place in Albany, and we did not realize that we were looking for a nano at the time. We thought it was one of those electric plates because we knew it had to be metal. Because of the clip. So we were looking. Well, it was in the evening. There was a vehicle that was out there. And so we were looking, and they were like, oh, what are you? And the store owner came out. And it was a gentleman and a lady. And they're like, what are you doing? Oh, we were just looking for something. Oh, can we help you? No, we'll find it pretty quick. Well, they didn't like our answer. They drove off, and about 3 minutes later, it was starting to rain. I was like, Jonathan, we need to get out, because he kept When they drove off, they kept watching us. And I was like, John, we got to get out of here. No, let me do one more sweep. They came up. I was in the vehicle, and they came right up. I'm talking within about 5 feet of my vehicle. What are you doing around here? I don't like that you're around here. Da, 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 da. Okay, we're leaving. Goodbye. But he was like, they did not like us. We just left the area, and it was 3 months later before we ever went back.
Yeah. That's kind of thing.
I think they were following us, but we just kind of...
Yeah, they were following us, and we were going all over Kingdom Come. I was like, go ahead, follow us for another 10 minutes. I don't mind driving. So,
Did you have
just
a
be
question,
careful.
Eric?
Yeah, I already know the answer, but I mean, can you store hide a cache in a cave? Like in a...
No.
Okay.
They are not allowed to do that.
My brother
Because-
is actually, he is a caver, and they frown upon that because of the danger element, and they don't want to have to go rescue.
And also because it's on private property,
A lot of
and
them
a
are.
lot of them will not allow that.
So there's some state parks, but yeah, even then they don't.
Even then they
don't
tell
have
us-
permission to go in the caves.
Right, I was gonna say with the state park, we have to tell them what we're putting there, how we're putting it there, and, I mean, you have two pages of forms that you're filling out for every cache that you put on a state park. And then they have to look it over and say, yes, we will allow this. When we had to do there at the state park, we did.
Oh, in Albany State Park.
In the Albany State Park. It took us a little while, like a week, by the time we gave them the information. They were able to check out our information before we could even,
Make sure you're not
so that we could get it published.
Well, they know us over there.
And they know it's over there now, quite a bit. One more thing, going after a geocache, here's the steps that you do. Where's yours?
Oh yeah, you gotta show us how the thing went.
Yes,
I'm
okay?
actually getting 14.
This is this one that we will be coming after. It's called Russell Gilbert, okay? It gives you an information, it gives you chords where it's at, and then it tells you a difficulty and terrain, okay? The difficulty
stars,
terrain is a
yeah.
2.5, 1.5. Difficulty terrain's over here.
Does that make
Right.
sense?
What you do is you go down to details or description, depending on what type of phone you have, and it gives you information. This one says, please check with Park Visitor Center before going after the cache, since there is construction in the area.
There
Don't
was
climb
construction.
on tree. Park wants the tree preserved. Then we gave a little information about Russell Gilbert, served under General Sol Ross here. Don't forget the camera, because there's a beautiful view. It's right up here.
Oh, nice.
Okay, for more information on Fort Griffin, we gave the website, and we said make sure that you pay the park fees before looking for this cache. Park officials are watching to see if geocachers will abide by the rules and regulations. So please leave a good impression by not littering and paying the fee.
Yeah.
Because some people we've had will come in here and not pay the fee, and then I keep having to tell them that that people are doing that. Because it looks bad on us, and I don't want it to be taken away. Also, other things underneath it shows recent activities. What it tells us is you can click on there and it will see who has found it recently, who has not found it. It also shows you attributes. Attributes for this one is access or parking fee, scenic view, poisonous plants, dangerous animals, it's not wheelchair accessible, parking available, and there's thorns. Okay? In West Texas, that is the poisonous plants, the dangerous animals, and the thorns. You're going to get on just about every cache
That's my
that you got in West Texas. These attributes help you see if you really want to go with them with kids, or gives you an idea what you're going to be looking at. We have one now where we're putting 15, you can put up to 15 attributes for each cache. That's how they do it.
And then show them
Sometimes-
the navigation thing.
Okay, sometimes they have a hint. We said low on ground as the hint, because we want people to find it. We don't want to find them in the tree. Sometimes people will not read the description. They'll go to the cache and go straight up. And we're like, please don't do that. With the terrain of being a 1.5, you're not climbing. Another thing that we would do is if we want you to climb a tree, we would put tree climbing, because there is a attribute for that, is tree climbing. Or if it's on somebody's, at their house, we will say private residence, and you'll put in the description that you have permission, or whatever.
You don't have to go knock on the door and go, hello.
No, no. Now, what we would do is we go to navigate. This shows us, the blue dot shows us where we're at. The little smiley face shows us where the cache is. Now this is one type of map. Another way is you can change maps and go, what we go to is hybrid. Shows the roads, and it shows, you can tell the terrain a little bit sometimes, and it shows where the trees are, where the roads are, stuff like that.
Those cliffs.
Yes.
The street's great for, like, when you're a long ways off coming up a highway, it's easier to look at, but like, when you get close up in the area where the cache is, you want to go to the hybrid more, because you can see your terrain.
Because then you can know which tree to choose, if it's at a tree or whatever.
And which program are you using?
This is called geocaching.com. This is the $10 app.
Okay.
But wait, just get the free one right now, or go to somebody else's geocaching. There's 3
You
or 4
can
of
also
them
get a
out there.
GPS unit too, but you don't have, if you already have a phone, you can already, I mean, you don't have to purchase that unit or whatever.
Right. So,
The phone will give you logs and give you a lot more information, is why I like it. And then you can log it right there out in the field, where the other, you have to go back to the computer and log it that way.
and that's why we like the phone, because you can log it right there.
'Cause you're-
Now, but then we have so many people that use the app, and they'll say, thanks for the cache, and not give more of a story to it.
They think they're texting. I mean, I have nothing against texting.
But that's kind of the message that they get. So you got the pros and cons. Also with the GPS device that we have come across, we have gotten to where you need to be able to draw circles or draw 2 circles. Where they intersect is where the geocache might be. And with a GPS handheld, you can do that. With this, you have to have an app for it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So you've got pros and cons for both things. We prefer, this is what we started on, but I do want to get into the GPS because they can draw the circles and do the overlapping. Because we're getting into puzzle caches where you get a circle here, you get a circle here, where they intersect is where the cache is, type thing. So,
And what I do too when I go for this, I'll follow it and see how close it's telling me, and then when I get up to ground zero, like what's your, because the cache can be within 30 feet.
within 30 feet, there's a discrepancy. You can be up between 15 and 30 feet, and you don't tell them that it's off. If it's more than 30 feet, then you tell them cords are off. But if it's within 30 feet, you just don't do that, because some are better than others.
And
Generally, they can go up to 9 feet. Mine can only go up to 16 feet as the closest point to it.
And sometimes when you're setting up a cache, you can't get a very good signal because, like, especially in East Texas with all those trees, you can't get a good signal out. So you just kind of guess.
Okay, so how do you point the cacher that's following your cache to that? I mean, like, is it something you set up?
No, it shows you.
Here, I'll show you. Like, I'll back out here. Like on this app, it'll show find nearby caches, and then you would hit that.
But when you're setting it up, like, how do you put the coordinates so it knows what point
okay.
your
Well, we
current
would
cache
go.
is?
We would go and bring up close caches by. And what we would do is we, when I'm putting out a cache, like I just put one out yesterday, I went out there, I laid my phone down, and I stepped away from it for about 3 minutes to let the signal come